Alright folks, welcome back to a channel, and you can see in the background that's a healthy e-rider, and let me take a quick look. This is his channel, and healthy e-rider. Shout out to him. The system he's got is pretty tight and sweet. 72 volt at 150 amps, pushing out 17,000 freaking watts. It's just ridiculous, but it is a great build, and all it depends how far you're willing to go with the controller. Question for you, healthy rider, is how far can you go with that battery? I believe you got a 50 amp hour battery, Panasonic cells, and that's what I'm getting. I'm actually getting 40, but I'm definitely expending 2 additional 20 amp hours, so I'm looking at 60 amp hours. Nice. Happy 4th of July, folks. Whew, that sounded horrible. But anyway, so yeah, that's my question. What's the distance? Because we know the top speed. That I also want to know the distance. And my future plan is, as for next season, is to expend the battery to additional 20 amp hours, which is going to give me again 60 amp hours. Eventually I will change the controller to Salvaton. Kind of iffy because there's lots of tweaks, lots of settings that you can do. There's some people that have problems, and then of course if you shorten the 2 wires, positive negative together, the controller is out, garbage, cannot use it. So it's a it's a dilemma. Would you be willing to spend $350 on a system that it can burn with only one touch of 2 opposite wires? That is a question. Right now I have only unfortunately 80 amps on my controller, so that's not going to give me 72. That's going to give me like 60, 68 or something. I would have to do the math. So pretty much it's your amps multiplied by voltage. So in my case it would be 72 multiplied by 80. So that's about 5,800 watts. My motor is 5,000 watts, so the peak, if it's at 6,000, it's totally fine. It's not going to continuously run on that amp usage. If my controller can only put out 80 and my BMS is 100, and that's pretty much okay, because I mean I could use 150 amp, but that's just going to kill the motor eventually. It's going to heat up and melt all the sensors and everything else in it. But anyway, going back to my video, why am I doing my video? I know you guys didn't know that, but I had issues with my front fork. Long story short, I went out for a ride with my son, and we were kind of like hitting the potholes and everything, and sidewalks and all that good stuff. Did not get obviously a pinched tire or tube or anything like that, because these motorcycle rims and tires, it's physically impossible. I have 80 pound of PCI in air, in my tube in the air. 80 PCI in my tires. So just leave it like that. I'm just going nuts. And so yeah, pinch tubes are out of question like it was before. It was an issue. To go from 1.5 tire to 2.8, and that was my other build, which the pinch tires or tubes or flats were gone over with. Never got one afterwards. But again, shooting the video because my front fork was not. I always had to have it on lock, because when it traveled, when it damped up and down, the brake line would go inside 2 spokes, and it would just make that nasty noise. So I completely did not like that. And I thought about it. I walked over to a bike. I thought about it. I saw how the mechanism works with the forks up and down, and I noticed that the loop. You're gonna see the video on this. I'm gonna put a video at the end of this video, so you can take a look what I was talking about. It would be stiff. There's a loop, and of course there is a brake line. It's supposed to go in and out, so it goes up and down. It travels. Therefore, the line doesn't bend either way, either inside the wheel or outside the wheel. And that was my issue. That line was going into the spokes, it was making crazy noise. I says, you know what, let me lock the wheel. The minute I locked the wheel wasn't pretty much working as a shock anymore. Or the forks weren't working as a shock because they were not that big up and down to cushion the potholes and the sidewalks, and it was uncomfortable ride. I noticed that, my son noticed that. They were like, what can we do about that? So I went ahead. I had additional brake line that I'm not using from the rear in that loop. So that loop was extremely tight. There was no way for the line for the front brakes to travel up and down, and therefore it was bending to the side. So what I did, I took the other line from the rear brakes and I put it to the side and tightened everything up together as much as I could, so it's nice and stable. And when I did that, I sat on the bike and I unlocked the front forks. It was working completely great. And to tell you, I fixed the problem. I fixed the problem that I thought the system or the brake lines weren't meant to be for this bike, which is literally impossible. Other than that, everything is working great. Still waiting for the batteries and see how that's gonna go. Definitely keep you posted. The battery will be mailed out. I have the tracking number from UPS. It hasn't cleared the customs. Not expecting any problems with customs. I'm only expecting delays from China, and it will go from that. I will get it before the season is over, so I'll give it a shot. Then I'll have the whole entire season, when the season is off, have the entire 6 to 8 months ways of getting additional 20 amp hour 72 volt battery, and kind of see where I can install it so it could be used on a bike. I originally thought of using a helmet component that you usually install in the back. There is a small space, the bar that goes in the back of the seat. I can expand that with steel support, painted black, of course. Kind of like have a steel plate. Into that, screw the bracket for the component for the helmet. And of course, I'm not going to keep the helmet in there. I'm going to keep the battery. The battery is going to be connected to the main battery. But when I will charge them, I will charge them individually. So that's the idea. If you have any other ideas for additional batteries, please let me know. Is this eBay? Okay. Good. Anyway, so that's the story for now. This is another YouTuber that is out of UK. He does crazy builds also. He did a live stream the other day. It was pretty cool for about a little bit over an hour. So it was great. All right, folks. On this channel, subscribe, share this video. Okay. Any questions you got, let me know. And for you, healthy e-biker, let me know your answers. And until then, folks, wear your gear, drive safe. All right, here we go with the beauty. There she is. All right, and of course I had one problem with the bike. I wasn't able to kind of activate my forks, so they will be locked. Now they are unlocked, and when I sit on it, let me see if I can sit on this big beast. Here we go. So now, see? Now everything's working just fine. But you can see the line works over here. I don't know if you can see really well. Get off the bike and show it to you. I mean, it's so hard to get off this bike. It's not even funny. Anyway, all right. So here we go. There's the wheel. I don't know if too bright. There you go. So there's the wheel, and I've noticed a few things. One thing was that I had this line over here, this line right over here, was going through this loop. Okay, now this originates for the line, brake line, to travel up and down, and the problem was the hose would not pretty much move inside the shaft, so this would be squeezed over here with additional line, and therefore this piece would touch the spokes. So now I have it fixed. You know, I still gotta do the rear cylinder and see if that actually works. And but right now it is working really well, and it is so bright out here. I don't know if you guys can see anything, but the train is done, so all I have left is the rear brake, and hopefully maybe today I'll get this screw the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get an Allen screw like that, but this bike right now with the correct battery will put out 7,200 watts, 72 volts, and 100 amps. So again, there is the motor, there's the brake, and unfortunately I'm not able to put the brakes because the line is too short. I'll have to run the line somewhere from here through here this way, and inside here through there on the top over here. That's the main goal. Alright folks, let me know what you think.